guys, is there anything specific you want me to talk to your coaches about? Because otherwise I'll sort of talk to you guys about something I was talking about the other day.
So I'm curious as to what you were talking about the other day.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to try to give you guys the slightly condensed version because you can watch my Facebook Live that I did the other day. Because here's the thing. When I was at my Super Saturday event in Toronto, a coach had asked me what I wanted to see more of from the coaches. And I was like, oh, that's a great question. And I sort of answered it really quickly, but I was just doing a short Q&A. I didn't have a whole lot of time to think about that answer. But after I left, I really was thinking about it a lot because I do think that as Beachbody switches its model over from infomercial and DVDs over to Beachbody On Demand, that a lot of coaches are sort of losing their way in how to be productive and still continue to help people. And so I was thinking a lot about it, and obviously in Punta Cana, I was talking to a bunch of different coaches, and I was noticing the same thing that everybody was worried about. Everybody was worried about how many followers they have on Instagram and Facebook, and whether or not they were keeping up with the social media trends. Am I posting move of the days? Am I posting beautiful food pictures? Like, am I posting awesome motivational quotes, right? But none of them were telling me how that tied back to being a Beachbody coach. None of them were saying, oh, well, I have 10 new followers, but those 10 new followers are all interested in Beachbody On Demand, or those 10 followers all signed up for Beachbody On Demand, or like some people were talking about like, oh, you can pay this person that has thousands of followers to do a post for you to get more followers. And I'm like, that's great, you have more followers, but again, how does that help you be a more successful Beachbody coach? Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to be successful, and in being successful, that means we're helping more people. We're helping end the trend of obesity. And then I was watching a TED Talk, and it was this really short TED Talk, so if you want, you can look it up. It was like 3.5, 4 minutes, and the guy hosting the TED Talk was talking about how to create a movement. And he shows a video, and through this video, he's showing how the guy creates a movement. So the video opens, and there is a guy dancing shirtless at an outdoor music festival. And we'll call this guy the leader for right now, okay? So he's out there and he's dancing, and there's a huge crowd, but everybody's just sort of watching. So he's technically a leader in that he's taking a stance, and he's making a bold statement, and he's the one doing it first. But he's not a leader unless he has somebody follow him, right? Otherwise, he's just some rando guy out there dancing with his shirt off. So up comes follower number 1 to the guy dancing with his shirt off. And this person, and the guy is explaining that follower number 1 is actually critical to creating a movement, because he comes along and he joins in with dancing shirt guy, and dancing shirt guy takes him in, and they sort of start dancing together, and they're having fun. So they're showing the crowd, it's okay to join in. This is fun. You want to be a part of this. And then up comes follower number 2. And when follower number 2 comes in, he doesn't join the guy dancing with his shirt off. He joins follower number 1. That's who he starts interacting with. Okay, that's important. Remember that. Because then up comes follower number 3 and follower number 4. And before you know it, what went from one guy dancing alone has turned into a massive group of people dancing together. And it's sort of this movement at this festival. So how does that pertain to you guys as coaches? So Beachbody is the movement. Help people lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That's the movement we're a part of, and we want to continue to grow it. So we'll use me as the leader for right now for these purposes. We have several leaders in Beachbody. We've got Carl and all the other super trainers and Darren with Shakeology, but we'll use me for right now. So you have me as the leader, and I create 21-day fix. Simple fitness, simple nutrition, fast results, right? And I say, everybody can do this. But here's what happens. Here is sort of the general public mentality. They look at me, since I'm the one on TV, and they assume that there's something different about me. There's something special. They put me up here. I'm not saying they should, because really there's nothing different about me. But in their mind, they're going, of course she can do it. She's Autumn Calabrese. She has a really easy life. She has perfect genetics. She has no problems in her world. She has all the time in the world to do it. So of course she can do it, but that doesn't mean I can do it. Okay? That's the mentality, right? So here I am leading, but I need people to follow me in order to continue the movement. So let's say Betty Sue's watching me at home, and Betty Sue watches me and she's like, yeah, but I can't do what Autumn's doing because I'm just Betty Sue over here in the middle of nowhere and I can't do that, okay? She's like, I'm not an LA girl, so that doesn't work for me. That's her mindset. Then there's Mary, who is Betty Sue's next door neighbor. Let's call Mary a Beachbody coach. You guys. Mary Sue watches what I'm doing, and Mary watches what I'm doing, and she says, I can do that too. I'm gonna do that. And she starts doing the workouts, and she starts doing the nutrition, and she's following me, right? She's following what I do. She's not creating something else. She's just following what I do. And her neighbor, Betty Sue, is watching her the whole time. And before you know it, Betty Sue goes to her, my follower number one. Me as a leader, Mary's my follower number one. Betty Sue watches and goes to her and says, what are you doing? How can I do it too? Betty Sue didn't come to me. She came to follower number one to find out what follower number one was doing. And that's how she's going to be drawn in. And so what I was explaining to people is that you need to be a leader by following the Beachbody way, okay? And here's where I see coaches getting lost. They're watching Instagram is just like a playground for everybody who wants to be in the fitness world. Everybody who wants to be a celebrity trainer. Anybody who works out is all of a sudden an automatic fitness expert. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying this is the mentality that you see, that everybody is going to be a fitness expert, okay? So you decide, what are your goals? Is your goal to be a successful Beachbody coach? Because if it is, then you need to follow the Beachbody path, right? You don't need to create new content for us if that's not Beachbody content. You need to lead by following what we are giving you, the tools we are giving you. So if you take this trend of move of the days, okay? This is a big one. I see everybody doing it. Again, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm sure there's lots of you guys out there who are certified trainers who have the knowledge to create move of the days. But the going trend is create and show a really tough, badass, crazy looking move of the day, okay? So I see coaches posting them, but in no way, shape, or form do I see how the post of that move of the day ties back to Beachbody in any way. So here's the difference. That's great if you're just trying to help end the trend of obesity movement, okay? Then you want to be a fitness person and you want to grow your brand and your name by creating new content. That's over here, and that's totally fine and acceptable. But if your goal is to help end the trend of obesity by being a successful Beachbody coach, you're on the wrong track over here. You're running parallel to the Beachbody track, but you're not on our track. So how do you change it to make it work for you so that you can still keep up with the trend of what's going on social media, but make it work towards being a better coach? Let's say you're doing 21-day fix. You just finished Dirty 30. You did Renegade Rows. Maybe Renegade Rows are your favorite move. Maybe they're the hardest move for you. You film that move. You post that move of the day. Just finished 21-day fix. These are Renegade Rows. They're working my shoulders, my core, and my back. I love to hate this move. It's so challenging, but I'm getting stronger every day. I've struggled with it in the past, whatever you want to say. Then you end your post with a question. This is key. Have you done 21-day fix? Have you tried Dirty 30? Have you ever done a Renegade Row? Show me your Renegade Row. Whatever you end it with, whatever question you want to pose to them, the more you ask and you end with a question or encouraging them to post the same thing and show it to you so that they tag you, you've now invited them in to engage with you. Compared to, here's me posting my fancy schmancy move of the day. Great. What did that fancy schmancy move of the day do for your business? Did it do anything? Because who knows if it does. But if you post that move of the day from the Beachbody program that you're doing, you say what it's from, and then you ask people, AKA invite them, to join you in it or to show you or ask questions about it. Now you jumped on the Beachbody track. Now you're following the trend of social media, but you're following the trend of social media on the Beachbody track. You're in our movement. You're not trying to create your own over here. The same thing goes for posting beautiful food photos. Great if you can create your own recipe. That's amazing. There's tons of people out there who are great cooks, can come up with recipes on your own. And great if you post some amazing food photo. But how does it tie back to your business? Is it a Fix8 recipe? Is it from the cooking show? Is it from the cookbook? Is it from one of the guidebooks? It doesn't even have to be a Fix8 recipe. It could be from Court of Forest guidebook, whatever it is. But if it doesn't tie back to that, then what is posting that beautiful food photo doing for you and your business? So again, you have a couple things to think about. Is my Instagram, is my social media for work? Is it my personal one where I share my whole personal life? Is it a little bit of a combination of both? Because it can be a combination of both. That's totally acceptable. But you really need to think about those photos when you're posting them, those videos when you're posting them, and just make sure that you're leading by following. Everybody's so afraid to not be the leader, to not be the standout, to not have your own brand, that you forget to follow the brand that we've already created for you, which is the Beachbody brand, which is what you're selling. And when I talked about this on Facebook the other day, I had somebody say, well, our upline coaches tell us don't make our entire feed all Beachbody and all selling, and they tell us to create our own brand. So let's talk about those two things really quick. No, you don't want your entire social media feed to be all Beachbody and all selling. It shouldn't be selling at all. It should be sharing. There is a very big difference. The second you start being like super advertising, it turns people off. But if you're just sharing what you're doing throughout the day, that's not offensive. That's not a turnoff. People, like the people who want to see it are the ones who are going to follow you. And those are the only followers that count anyways. You can have 1 million followers, but if they're not engaged in what you're doing, who cares? It's not a popularity contest. Maybe it is for you, but that doesn't help your business. So you really want to focus on that and say, okay, sort of you want to do like the law of thirds, really. So like if you're doing 3 posts a day, 1 to 2 of them can be about Beachbody and 1 of them can be your daily life. If you're going to do 4 posts a day, same thing, 1 to 2 Beachbody, 2 about your personal life. But you want to have at least 1 to 2 posts a day about your business, because if you're not talking about your business, you're not growing your business. So you don't have to worry about bombarding people. But if you even just do your fitness post and some version of a nutrition post, be it Shakeology or a food recipe, or, hey, I went out to dinner, I was trying to decide what would be Fix approved. Here's what I came up with. I ordered, grilled chicken with some sauteed veggies, and I got this really delicious rice pilaf or whatever it might be. Something like that. Like, so you're showing you're out to dinner, you're incorporating it into your daily life. Then that shows people what you're doing. And then the other posts can be like, here's me with my kids. Here's me out with my friends. Here's me on vacation. Don't underestimate also using Instagram stories to fill in the blocks, okay? So you don't want to overload your feed. You want to keep 2 to 3 posts in your feed that look really awesome, really clean. Somebody comes to your page. They see what you're all about. That page is your brand. That's what you're creating. By sharing who you are, really who you are, that's your brand. You don't need to create original content. Just share who you are. Again, if you want to create original content, if you're looking to be a YouTube star or maybe get noticed by Beachbody as a trainer, I guess that's one way. That's one thing to do. But if your goal is just to be a successful Beachbody coach, then you don't need to create all this original content constantly, because you're no longer leading by following. You're just leading by doing your own thing, and it doesn't tie back in. So that is sort of the short version of the talk I was giving the other day, that I think what I would like to see most from coaches is I'd like to see just a tiny adjustment, because I think we've strayed a little bit. I think we're just not following the right exact path. I think we're running next to it, but we got to jump back on the Beachbody path. And I'd love to see that happen more, because I still think that there's so much awesome content that you guys can put out there that would still be uniquely yours in just the way that you present it. But it's going to do so much more for you to be successful. And like I said, that really just means that we're helping more people. And that's what being successful is really about. So you can't be afraid to share who you are. You can't be afraid that just because you're not at your goal weight means you're not a great coach, or you don't have you should be shy to talk about where you're at in your journey, because there's going to be somebody else at that same spot in their journey. Or maybe less. Maybe they're further away and they want to see somebody who started where they were but is working their way through the journey, and they want to be like, oh, well, I relate to you, because people will look at me all the time and go, well, she doesn't struggle. She's already in shape. And I've been fairly in shape most of my life because I grew up dancing and I was a competitive dancer and stuff. I had those awkward teenage years where I was a little bit overweight and everything like that. But like, I get it. I can mentally relate to somebody who is 300-400 pounds and has that to lose. I can understand what that means to them, but physically, emotionally, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to having 4 kids because I only have 1 kid. I know that tortures me at times and is super hard, but things like that. So like, don't be afraid to share who you are, because like I said, in sharing who you are creating your brand. So, Joan, if you want to open it up for
sure.
questions you guys have.
Well, first of all, that was awesome. And what I love about that advice that you just gave is, I mean, we say it all the time and everybody's going to go, but coming from Autumn, it was so much better, whatever. But the thing is I hear all the time, like, I don't know what to post about. I don't know what to post about. And it's because people are trying to get too freaking creative. And if you just shared what the hell you do every single day, you don't have to be creative. You have something to post about, and blammo, people relate to what you're doing. So keeping it simple. It's just super, super duper important. One of the things that I did want to say or ask about, I don't even know if it's in these questions. I have a lot of questions for you. I'll sift through them and see if But one of the things that I wanted to ask, just because I wanted others to hear, is I don't think people realize how busy Autumn is. Like, I mean, you're doing the Fix a Cook show, cooking show where you're creating, how many did you say you do at a time? Like 20 something at a time?
We do 28 in a 4-day period. We film 28 recipes in 4 days.
So she's doing that. She's creating new programs. She did the Fix a Cookbook. She's at all of these events for us, training us. She has a son. She's a single mom. So and she's created this gigantic brand for herself. So kudos to her, because ultimate girl boss right there. But talk just a little bit about that. Like, how do you prioritize and make it so that it works for you and your schedule? And so that for people who are sitting there going oh, I'm the busiest person in the world, I can't put in, 30 minutes to my business today. What would you say to them?
Here's the thing. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. And I know that's a little bit of a cliche because we all say it, but it's so true. Because here's the thing. I'll give you an example. Just today, I took over Instagram stories for Beachbody, so you can see a little bit of what my day was like. But I was up at 6 because I knew I needed to get my workout in today before my meeting started. Because once my meeting started for the day, done skis, workout was not going to happen. But it's also Monday. I have to get my kid to school. I have a nanny who drives him, so she comes and she sort of helps do the last few minutes of packing the book bag and getting him ready and that sort of thing, and drives him to school. But I'm up. Dom, did you brush your teeth? Dom, put your uniform on. Dom, come eat breakfast. I'm making breakfast. I'm making breakfast for myself. Today, my diet bet started. I'm doing a diet bet right now. So I need to jump on there. I need to welcome everybody into the group. I need to sort of go through and a few photos, make a few comments, that sort of thing. I can't obviously talk to all 6,000 of them in the group, but I can go on and I can start doing what I'm supposed to do, which is liking and that sort of thing. So here's what I do. Before I go to bed at night, I look at my calendar on my phone. I see what I have planned. And my workout gets planned in there based on what I'm looking at. So if I got to get up 30 minutes earlier, 45 minutes earlier, that's just what happens. So set the alarm at 6, get up, making breakfast, eating breakfast, doing all of those things. It doesn't sound like it should take 2 hours, but it does. Dom leaves for school at 7:45. He's out the door. So in between there, as I'm making breakfast and stuff, I'm on this thing. I'm on it. I'm checking into the diet bed. I'm posting in there. I'm taking a minute. I have 2 different Facebook groups going on right now, so I'm talking to them. I'm signing on to my other phone, and I'm doing my Instagram takeover for Beachbody. So like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. So in the midst of doing my day, I'm doing my business, because that's what our business is, right? We're sharing what we do all day. So that's what I'm doing. As soon as Dom leaves for school, I was in the gym with my sister. We worked out for a solid 45 minutes. I've got the pool guys coming today. They just demoed my pool because I needed to put a safety cover on it, and apparently once the pool's built, it's a lot harder thing to do. So the pool guy's in the backyard with 6 other guys, and the dog's going nuts, and he keeps calling me to come outside because he's got to talk to me about this and got to talk to me about that. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to get food in my body because I just finished the workout, and I've got to take a shower because I've got people coming to my house for meetings all day, and I don't want to be disgusting. And that's it. By 11 o'clock, I had Stephanie from Beachbody at my house. She's somebody in the fitness department. We were working on some stuff. We worked for 5 hours. She walked out the door as my next meeting was walking in the door at 3 o'clock. So in walks the next meeting. That was somebody from my brand management team. We're working on some redesign of my website. So it was 2.5 hours sitting in front of the computer working on copy and photos for the website. She walked out the door. I'm in the kitchen with my son and my 2 nephews. I'm getting them snacks. I'm calling my sister. Are you going to be home? I got to jump on a coach call. And then before I know it, I'm on the phone with you guys. So the day has been nonstop. And tomorrow will be crazy and chaotic just like that in its own way. You have time because we have this. As much as I hate saying that, our business revolves around a computer or a smartphone. And let's be honest, we've all got the smartphone attached to our hip. We never put it down. It's not hard to take a photo on Instagram stories. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have a girlfriend who drives me insane when it comes to posting a photo. She'll take 400 of the same damn photo. She'll spend 2 hours. Like, I'm like, oh, did you post the photo? Like, I'm standing next to her waiting to go on and like it. She's on there editing the photo forever. Then she's got to think about the copy. It's another, I swear to God, the photo goes up 3 hours later. I was like, what is the point? Oh my goodness. Like, it's just not that serious, you guys. Like, it really isn't. You can, look at my food photos. You'll know the difference between the ones I'm taking actually and the ones that have been taken from the Fixate set, when the food's prepared all pretty and the pretty photographer comes in and snaps the photo because it looks amazing and gorgeous. My food doesn't look amazing and gorgeous. It tastes great. It just doesn't. I don't have time to plate it on a plate to make it look gorgeous for an Instagram photo. I am in a hurry, okay? And think about that though, and think about who you are attracting into your business. Because if you're trying to attract the other busy moms out there, or the other busy dads out there, or the business people who don't have time, and all you keep showing are these amazingly gorgeous, well-placed photos of food, people are going to like it. They're also going to go, I can't do that. I don't have time for that. So what good did that do? You just made it look unattainable. So these are the little things that we have to think about. Like, I know we all love our feed to be so beautiful and everything matchy, but it's just not real life. And it's, again, you have to think about what your goals are and who you want to help. So if you're looking to help a photographer who's a food photographer, then great. They might be attracted to your beautiful food photo. But otherwise, show them what you're really making. Show them what your kids' lunches really look like. Show them you like in the kitchen with your hair looking all crappy and without makeup on your face, because that's real life. Nobody's really in there all made up every day.
All right,
I may have veered from the question.
No, you did fine, but I was dying because literally this one sits here next to me and it's the same thing. Like, I'll be like, I'm really hungry. Will you make us lunch? And I look at him and an hour later, he's still sitting there. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm putting up a post. I'm like, is it the same post you were putting up before?
You're like, I'm still hungry. I'm hungrier. Can I get some food?
All right, switching to a little, I think that there was a few questions in here just about like your day and lifestyle and stuff like that, but I think that covered it. So, things that are more about working out. So,
yes.
How heavy do you typically lift in real life on leg day? Because we know in hammer and chisel, I think the highest weights you used were 15s in the thing. We know obviously you go lighter while you're filming.
Yes, definitely go lighter while we're filming.
Yes, but for women who are scared of lifting heavy because they think they're going to bulk up and all that jazz, can you just talk about that and like how?
Yeah. Depends on what the exercise is. When my legs were at their absolute peak strongest, I would throw a 110-pound barbell on my back and squat it for 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps each. That's my body weight. I'm putting my body weight on my shoulders and squatting it. That was when I was training for fitness competitions. It's not my goal right now to be, not that I was ever big or bulky, but it's really hard for me to put muscle mass on. So like I really have to go for it. So it's not my goal right now. So it's more like I'll squat like 75, 80 pounds now. If I'm doing lunges, I'm holding 20s to 25s in each hand. Step ups is usually a 20 or a 25, you know, like, but I'm lifting. But again, and I tell you guys this because there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do with an at-home fitness program compared to if I was training a client in a gym and they came and saw me every week. With at-home stuff, I'm sort of putting it all in one bucket and I'm like, here it is. So if you look at 21 Day Fix, everything's in minute-long intervals, right? Well, if you have a lighter weight in your hand, you're probably going to get in more reps. You're going to be getting in like 20 to 30 reps in that minute-long interval. Grab some heavy weights, you might only get in 12 or 13 reps in that same amount of time. And that is perfectly okay. It's what we call periodization, and it's how we switch up and keep your body guessing. So that's why I tell you guys all the time, like if you start to plateau, it's time to either bump those weights up or go for more reps or go for less reps, switch the time of day you're doing your workout. But the only time you should be afraid to lift heavy is if you have an injury preventing you from lifting heavy. And that was one of the reasons I stopped lifting so heavy. I have a very old dance injury. I have a bulging disc in my lower spine. And if there's just no reason for me to lift that heavy, like I'm not going on stage, I don't have anything to prove, then there's no point in putting all that extra compression on my spine. But there's a happy medium. Like I can very comfortably handle 70 to 80 pounds. So that I'll do. I just won't really go for the 110 anymore because I don't.
So interesting. Like once you just broke it down for me like that, when you say go heavy in the videos, I'm like, but I'm dying at the end of a minute with, you know, this weight because you're trying to like just go. But if you just slowed down the reps and did heavier, I mean, now it makes sense. Yes.
And maybe I should explain that more. Maybe that's a cueing thing I need to explain, that if you guys bump up the weights, I don't expect you to still get in 30 reps if you go from holding 10s to holding 25s.
Right.
You're going to have to slow way down just to maintain your balance.
Form, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so other question. Folks said they get asked all the time about macros. So using the containers, like what is that? What's the equivalent? Can people who are trying to do that still use the containers?
Yeah, it's just a really simple breakdown. It's 40, 30, 30. So it's 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% healthy fats. So yes, you can. It's just I've balanced them for you in a way that I believe is very attainable for the general fitness population that's not going for some insane goal. Like you can, well, and it's a very similar version to what I use when I take the stage. There's a little bit more of tweaking that we do when I'm training for a competition that, again, I'm not going to put in an at-home program because it's not necessary. But it is, like I said, it's very balanced macros. And here's the funny thing. People know it's portion control. And there's a fun little reason aside from portion control as to why portion fixed nutrition works. And I don't know if anybody's really caught on to it, honestly. It's a very plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Most people think it's protein heavy, but because maybe they're not used to eating that much protein.
Until you do countdown to competition, and then you're like, holy crap, this is
well, okay, that is not a plant-based, that's not plant-based. But if you look at portion fix, 21-day fix, where you're having, 3 to 4 servings of fruit, 3, 4, 5 servings of vegetables. Then you have your blue container, depending on what you put in your blue container. But if you're doing avocado or almonds or something like that, that's plant-based again. Your yellows, if you're eating things like rice or quinoa or oats, you're plant-based. These are things that are so good for your body. They're very nutrient dense. They're lower in calories. They're super high in antioxidants. They're lower in fat. Everything like that. There's tons of just repairing and restoring ingredients, if you will, in these foods. And it's beautiful, I think, because I didn't say you're going to do a plant-based diet, because I think most people would be like, no, I'm not. I like protein. Your protein's still there. I'm still giving you your red containers. But again, your orange container, if you're eating olive oil, what does olive oil come from? It comes from an olive. If you're eating seeds in your orange container. So it is a very plant-heavy meal plan. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, which is awesome. So macros are all there. They're all balanced for you guys.
Yeah, I feel like it's really easy to use that in a way too, like if you're gluten-free or if you're just like trying to stay away from grains and stuff in general, to use the containers that way. I know, and then there's like the keto question too. So people, I feel like the keto diet, people are like not eating vegetables, which makes me nervous. But upping your fat intake, is there a way to balance the containers in that way? Or is there already enough fat there? I mean, because I feel like what you just said with 40, 30, 30, it's like, that seems like.
So here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about the keto diet. This all of a sudden is like it's not a new thing at all. I think it's new to our world for like to sort of the Beachbody coaches have just sort of started asking about it quite a bit.
Right.
But ketosis and using ketosis, it's one of those things, in my opinion, and I'm just saying this in my opinion, that really should be used for specific purposes only. Like, we will go into ketosis a lot of times when we're training for fitness competitions. There's a lot of competitors that will use it. And will it work for that? Sure. Will it get you shredded in that amount of time, protein and fat? Yes, it can. There's a lot of damaging effects that can happen when you're eating that much protein and that high of fat and you're not eating fruits or vegetables or healthy grains. You're missing nutrients that your body needs. So again, if you're looking at what your goals are in the fitness world and you're just looking to be healthy and in shape, it's one of those times where I'm like I said, if it was to be incorporated into a program and it was there for a very specific reason, okay, great. But if you're just sort of looking to lead an overall healthy lifestyle and you're looking for that magic pill, I'm never one that's big on that magic pill, because when you come off of it, you gotta hope you come off of it without binging. You gotta hope that you come off of it without having messed up your metabolism or damaged your organs or anything like that. And we don't ever go into ketosis in 21-day fix extreme, because it takes about 10 days of really having no carbs whatsoever to get into it. But we do carb cycling in countdown to competition. So you've got 2 days where you have very minimal carbs, very high fat, right? You're eating coconut oil between 5 and 8 or 9 times a day, along with your protein. But then on your third day, you get a normal eating day. And then you have 2 days where you're very carb light, and a third day where you get your normal carbs. I think that's more realistic and doable for, again, the general population of people looking to just be healthy and lose weight. and it won't shock your system so hard that you crash off of it. Because if you're dealing with anybody who's had any kind of issue with food, messing with food like this can dance a very dangerous line. Yeah. Somebody who's had an eating disorder, somebody who's afraid to eat, somebody who binge eats in any way, maybe they're not even aware that they do it. The second you start restricting them that bad, you're playing with fire in terms of whether or not they'll be able to rein it back in. And like I said, there's certain nutrients your body just needs. There's a part of your brain that only functions on carbohydrates. So why when people do Atkins and they do the first phase of Atkins, and everybody always jokes like, oh, they get stupid on Atkins. That's not stupid. They literally don't have the carbohydrates working in their brain because that phase takes all the carbohydrates away for a minute. And so they're short on sugar. Like, you do need sugar. Your muscles need sugar. They need glycogen to repair and to be able to function. So again, there's a time and a place for everything. But if you're not really using it towards a very specific goal for a short period of time, me personally, I'm not a big fan of it. And P.S., you will have horrible breath, so don't stand close to anybody. Swear to God, there were people at the gym, like when I used to work at the gym, and they would be on the ketosis diet, and they would come up and talk to me, and I'd be like,
"Oh God,
oh my God." It's nasty.
So I think that goes right into somebody that asked how often do you think it's okay for somebody to do the countdown competition plan, or do the carb cycle?
Yeah, I tell people to only do it once every 3 months. Okay. Because again, it's for a specific reason. So I'd rather you be on the regular Fix Extreme plan. Maybe you have eliminated the dairy and you've eliminated more of the processed foods, right? But countdown to competition is for a very specific thing. So maybe you've got a wedding coming up or a vacation coming up and you just want to tighten it in as much as you can. That's what it's for. It's not a lifestyle. It's not there to be used as your daily lifestyle. Because here's why, and I can tell you, I've competed 4 times and I've filmed 4 fitness programs. If that tells you how many times I've had to do a version of Countdown to Competition in the last 4 years. It's a lot, okay? Your body adapts. Just like your body adapts to exercise, your body adapts. The first time I ever did Countdown to Competition, it was brutally hard for me. But oh my God, I was like, shredded in 3 days. I didn't even have to go the full, by week 3, my body was like you would grade carrots on my abs. But the last time I do it, I'm like, why doesn't it work? Because my body knows what it is. But so using it too often is just like anything else. Your body will adapt to it and it won't respond as quickly. It doesn't mean it won't work. It will. It's just if you're looking for that first time effect and it's time number 8, it's not going to be as drastic. It just the unfortunate side of repeating things, especially if you repeat it too closely together.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you because actually there was a lot of them in here, but they all kind of got answered as we chatted.
Oh, good.
Somebody wants to know, are you going to do any additional workouts for the active maternity program?
I am begging to get to populate that. I think what I'm going to do for the time being, because there's just only so much stuff, obviously, that we can film in a year. There is budgets and that sort of thing. I think I'm going to start adding some stuff to my new YouTube channel for people for active maternity. So they won't be full 30-minute ones, but they'll be shorter, 5 to 8 to 10-minute things that our pregnant mommies can do. And then if and when Carl's ready for me to populate that again, I will definitely be more than happy to, because it is one of my favorite things to talk about and to work on. I've been certified in pre and postnatal for 8 years, and I love it. So
wow. Yeah.
Yes, I will post online when I start those.
Cool. Okay, so these last 2 questions are the last one I really like, but this one is kind of funny. What's your favorite cheat food?
Pizza and wine.
I like pizza.
I don't know if you guys know this about me, but we owned a pizza place when I was a kid. So my dad owned a pizza restaurant. It was all homemade recipes. So It was literally like, if you ever watch the old Italian movies where like there's like a restaurant, it's like a big building, there's like a restaurant and then like sort of the house on top of it or the apartment on top of it. That's what I really lived in. Our restaurant was on the first floor and our home was on top of it. It was like 2 apartments stacked on top of it. So it's amazing that I ended up in health and fitness because I ate pizza almost every single day as a kid. Like we ate pizza, pastas, and subs, and New York style cheesecake, which was also amazing.
Not sure if we can add any more questions, but does Autumn recommend for a pre-workout snack in the AM? I want to do AM workouts, but cannot without eating something first.
Yeah, well, I always recommend eating first. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of fasted cardio or anything like that. I can't handle it. I'll pass out. My workout would be nothing. So I definitely recommend it. Here's the thing. For me, I can get up and eat a full breakfast. Like people are usually blown away by how much food I eat for breakfast and then step into the gym 5 or 10 minutes later. So that's me. I can have a full bowl of oatmeal with peanut butter and berries and scrambled eggs with veggies and go walk in the gym and work out and not eat. But if you're somebody who can't stomach something that heavy, you can do anything from just having a Shakeology with water, maybe blending a Shakeology with a banana, maybe just doing like an apple with peanut butter or some toast, any of those things. What I like to say is before your workout, within 45 minutes to an hour before your workout, I recommend having a red and a yellow and a green. So a protein, a carbohydrate, and a vegetable. I usually say don't have a fat at that point because fat will slow down absorption and you want to get all those nutrients going in your body. You want your body using them to fuel your workout, okay? And then I say the same thing after your workout. 45 minutes to an hour after finishing, within that amount of time, you don't want to go any longer. You want another red, a yellow, and a green.
So do you do the performance line at all? Would you use that as your red, or does that still not count? Because I know you did it.
You don't have to count the performance line. We aren't counting it because the container brackets are just that. There's a 300 calorie range. So in each bracket. So you could use the entire performance line within your bracket and still be in your bracket. And I don't think people are using every single product every single day. Mm-hmm. So you're fine to not count it. Usually what I do actually is like, if I would do Energize 20 minutes before my workout, mm-hmm. then I'll usually have eaten before that. Mm-hmm. Do my workout. As soon as I finish my workout, I go in the kitchen, I grab chocolate recover and a banana. I mix my chocolate recover up with water. I eat my banana. Every once in a while, I'll have a frozen banana just blended into my chocolate recover. But that's immediately following my workout. That's within 10 to 15 minutes of my workout ending. Because you want that recover system in your body, and the banana is great for potassium, that sort of thing, and a little extra sugar. And then if I get that in right after my workout, within 10 minutes of finishing my workout, 45 minutes later, I have time to digest that. Yeah. I can eat my full meal, my red, my yellow, and my green without feeling like I just overstuffed myself after my workout. But I've still given my body everything it needs for optimum recovery and to repair and to keep going about my day and not slow my metabolism down either.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Tammy, when would you recommend someone trying the performance line? Are you asking like when to try it the first time? I say now, but I don't know what Autumn says.
Right away, if you haven't yet. I love the performance line. I think it's fantastic. So if you're not using it and you're looking for a little extra edge to your workouts and that sort of thing, I think the performance line is great. It depends on what workout program you're pairing it with, what you would use. Energize is pretty great for almost every workout. You don't want to use that before Pilates or yoga. Because you'll be like, well, this doing yoga, but for any workout that's going to require a little oomph, Energize is great. Hydrate is great if you're a big sweater in general, or if you're doing cardio. I don't necessarily use Hydrate every single workout. Like I use it during my cardio for sure, but I just don't, if I'm doing upper body fix, I don't need hydrate. I'm not like dripping in sweat, but there are plenty of people who are. I've seen the sweaty selfies. So by all means, if you're a sweater, use hydrate. Chocolate recover right within that time frame, like I mentioned, after a hard workout. Again, no chocolate recover after Pilates or yoga. You really don't even need it after cardio because it's more for like a weight training day or like a plyometric day. So maybe if you're doing really explosive movements, you would use it. And then vanilla recharge is a lifesaver before bed for not waking up and feeling like you can't sit on the toilet. There have been many a times where I have forgotten my vanilla recharge before bed and I wake up and I'm like, no, I forgot it. Oh, I'm in so much pain. I'm not gonna be able to walk today. So I love the performance line. If you haven't tried it, go for it.
That was me with hammer power the other day. My hamstrings still hurt from 3 days ago. So
that'll do it.
All right. So I think that's all. And I didn't want to keep you here all night, but my last question for you is what's your favorite personal development? Either book or audio or podcast, doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. I just finished, like literally in Punta Cana, I went online and took my test for the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So I was just in a year-long intensive nutrition program to be a certified health coach. So for the last year, that has been the bulk of my personal development because I literally had to be doing stuff every day. I was listening to lectures every single day and taking quizzes, and that was like such an amazing experience. I loved the book, You Are a Badass. I thought that was just brilliant and funny and an easy read, but very easy to relate to and understand. I'm reading a book right now called Fat, Sugar, Salt, and it's all about like the food industry and sort of the fight that's been going on to make our food better, but what's hidden. So it's personal development for me just because I am super curious about that, and there's a lot of stances I take on that stuff, and especially how it impacts our kids and our schools and that sort of thing. So so that's one I'm reading right now, but I just started that one. So far, so good. Be interesting to see how that one goes. Yeah, I think those are the big ones right now. And I watch the TED Talks. I love TED Talks. I think those are really great because you can sort of look up whatever topic you want to learn about in the moment.
They're passionate and they're awesome. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. You guys want to take one little selfie picture now with Autumn?
Selfie photo. Let's do it.
I'm going to do it with my screenshot, I think. So I can tell you guys when to look like super excited.
All right. And then you can post it.
Those people who are on here and they're not showing their faces, you're going to regret it.
Gonna miss out.
All right.
Oh, everybody just jumped up.
There you go. All right. Everybody do a huge smile. All right. You got it. Thank you so much for your time. You guys, I can't even tell you. I was like, Autumn, will you do a team call for me? And she's like, yeah. Like, when do you do them? I was like, Monday nights. She's like, this Monday's fine. I was like, who are you? She's like,
yes, Autumn, just the girl we hung out and we found vegetable kebabs in Punta Cana, and I was super happy about it.
We did. Like, I hate vegetables, so the fact that I was searching for vegetables in Punta Cana tells you something.
We struggled a little bit with our food.
I got back here and I was like, I love America.
I was like, eat all the healthy food. I was so excited. And Starbucks. I was very excited for Starbucks.
Well, I won't lie. One of our first meals was actually, we hit up this little Italian place in the north end of Boston. So our first meal back was not that great for us, but it was delicious.
But I'm sure it was amazing. Yes.
So good. All right, guys. Thank you for jumping on here. Thank you for taking the time. I thought that call rocked. I loved everything that you said, and I think that we got all the questions pretty much answered. So
thank you. My pleasure, you guys. Just keep kicking butt. Don't be afraid. And the biggest thing is make sure you really are leading from your heart and not your brain. Get out of your head. That's not what it's about. If you're going from here, you're going to help so many more people than getting up here and wondering if you said the perfect thing. So keep kicking butt, and I hope to see you guys all again soon.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Night. Thank you.